In Cobalt, you can configure your masters and their hardware, the buttons and faders associated with them, in order to perform in specific ways based on the type of content you've loaded into the master. The way you can do this easily is to hold Setup and hit the master key for the master you wish to configure. When you do that, you'll get the Master Settings dialog. This dialog has 3 tabs so that you can set up the basic settings, the button settings, and the fader settings for that master playback. This information is stored on the master page, which means the settings for the masters might change as you change pages of content. It also means you can make edits to these settings in blocks in the master page editor. Most of the time, however, we use this dialog to set up individual masters. The basic settings include the mode, which is inclusive, inhibitive, or exclusive. Inclusive masters share their content with the rest of the system for LTP and HTP. Inhibit turns the master into a mini grandmaster for just the channels that are assigned to that master playback. An exclusive setting means that that master playback is the exclusive controller of those channels for as long as the master is set to exclusive. Inclusive is the default setting. You also have an option here to tell the system to exclude intensity values from this master when you're recording. You might want to tick this box if your master playback contains your house lights, for example, or any other lights that you turn on and off during rehearsals or during a show that you don't want recorded into other targets. Button settings are the settings for both the master key at the top and the flash key at the bottom. The master button has a certain number of functions that it can perform. Some of these functions make sense only with certain types of data. For example, a go button really only makes sense if you've applied a sequence to that master. Other options included in here include the master editor, which gives you single button hit access to the master editor tab when you're working. The master editor is also accessible by holding modify and hitting a master key. The flash key has a number of other options set to it, including functions specific to flash operation. You can disable the flash key entirely, or you can set the flash to either momentary or toggle operation so that it becomes a latched switch or simply activates as long as you're pressing the button down. Other functions you find here are also found on the master key, which gives you just a little more flexibility depending on what type of data you've got on the master at that moment. If you're using the flash key as a flash key in momentary or in toggle mode, you can choose whether or not that flash will additively add those lights into the look on stage, or whether it will solo out the rest of the masters and just apply that particular look to the stage at that moment. You can also tell the flash key, when it is operating as a flash key, to flash the entire look, or just the intensity portion, or just the non-intensity portion of that particular piece of content. You can set to use a time value in the flash key, in which case you press the button down and the in time or the moving light times are applied as you're holding the key. If this is off, which is the default, then the flash key flashes the entire look in with no time as quickly as possible. If you're using the flash keys to flash intensity levels, you might want to cap the flash level at something less than 100% of the look that's on the master. You can do this by adjusting the flash level on this tab. The faders also have options, including whether or not they work additively or in a solo mode. You can determine how intensity will be controlled by the fader, whether it will be controlled at all, following the manual move of the fader as you push it up or down, or using the time that is assigned to the master in the master page. Attributes, again, you can disable attributes from the fader so that it only controls the intensity portion. You can tell attributes to follow the manual move, Or you can tell the attributes to execute at a specific percentage of movement of that fader, in which case they will use the time from the object on that fader. Active parameter lock, when enabled, causes the LTP parameters contained by that master to be held out of the LTP pool as long as the fader is above 0. You can use this for special cases where you need that master fader to have a priority of +1 over the rest of the system. Return behavior allows you to define what happens when you bring the fader back to 0. Normally, there is no return behavior. Intensity is brought up, the attributes follow the manual fader until you hit the full position, and when you bring the fader back down, the intensity goes down, but the position and color and beam information stays where it was, so the look simply fades out. If you want the moving lights to move or the colors to change, you need to apply a return behavior to the fader and tell them what they're supposed to change to. You can have the lights return to their previous position, meaning before you move the fader in an upward direction in the first place. Or you can tell them to return to a specific preset number that you've already recorded, or to whatever preset happens to be located in the main playback at that time. This allows you to be specific about what happens when you bring the fader back down. If you choose the preset option, enter the preset number that is the target for the return to action in this cell. These are all of the settings you can make for master playbacks in Cobalt.